Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio Japanese Grand Prix. I'm Callum Hosty, the PRF1 Season 1 PlayStation 4 Division 1 champion. That is really wordy. And tonight, I will be taking you, lovely people, through the Japanese Grand Prix in the Fangio side of PRF1. 10 races gone, 6 left in this realistic 50% league. And we come to one of the toughest tracks in the card outside F1's crown jewels. How is Suzuka's not a crown jewel? It makes you think, but it's not. And on this unique figure eight circuit, will there be any shots? Can someone usurp AMS Casper in the championship? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. As we now enter the lobby, there could easily be some rain, this being Japan. And by the way, good evening to you, Big D, as well, in the Twitch stream. And it appears we've got a drive qualifying one at least to begin with. Let's enable everything. And I will take you through the championship standings as they are. Because it's good to know where we are, right? Okay, so AMS Casper, our runaway championship leader. He has 417 points. Behind him is AMS Axel with 332 points, 85 behind. AMS Apple, sad not here tonight, 319 points, 98 behind. AMS Squadron, he's only has 305 points, 112 behind. Batman is 50 for a victory. Robert Snacks, the first non-Alien takeaway in this season, 299 points, 118 behind. Misfits in 6, 251 points, 166 behind. He's doing in 7, 210 points, 207 behind. Then we have AMS Josh in 8th, 203 points, 214 behind. Mass 29, 184 points, 233 behind. Number 7, right now the top 10, 160 points, 257 behind. AMS Trappy, shockingly, the louder champion of Season 12, only 138 points. He's not here tonight, 279 behind. Andrew Pismith, only 84 points, 333 behind. And Speedvic, 80 points, 335 behind. And Tom JM, no points yet, 417 behind. With the constructors being Sauber, 749 points. They're going to go for the 1,000 by the looks. Driving second with 550. Racing Bulls in third with 508. Passing for 477. Red Bull in fifth with 340. Aston Martin in sixth with 258. Close followed by Mercedes with 256. Williams with 188. McLaren 181. Which means the Mercedes-powered cars in this game from the Real Life 25 season are 6th to 9th. Yeah, I thought. And Alpine in 10th with 60 points. And we have Speedweek in the aptly liveried Red Bull. And let us take you through a lap. Commentated. We'll have a few on naturals, as we all usually do, if you have been watching the coverage either on YouTube or live here on my personal Twitch. A Speedweek comes across the start-finish line, nearly losing it. Heading down towards turn one in the only DRS zone on the track. Can he keep it flat? He most certainly can. Slightly wide into turn 2. That's not optimal, but he will hook it up. Now into the S's. As you can tell, it is set in the spring, because look at all that cherry blossom. It is absolutely gorgeous. Hooking too much of that curb there. That's lost him a lot of momentum through the Dunlop. Easily flat in these dry conditions. And then into the first deck of the flat. No, it was a lip. And into the second deck of the... Oh, that looks like it could have been a horrific incident had you not corrected it. Now into a corner literally named the hairpin. There we are. Traction control being abused there. That's kind of obvious. But if that's what makes him go quickest, who am I to argue? And then through into Spoon. Very, very wide. I think this is a feeler for Speed Freak, you can just tell. And now I'm burning all that battery, heading towards the triangle chicane via here, the 130R. Of course it's flat in these cars, yes? You betcha. And then into the triangle chicane, moved back for 2002. And Speed Freak putting the power down towards that finish line. He will set a 1 minute 29.905. Okay. Amos Godwin with a 128.303. Andrew Basic 129.311. Speaking of white Red Bull family cars, Big D 6432 reserving tonight in the Racing Bull for our first Au Naturel lap. Take it away, Big D. A BD6 129.65. Well, that's all been happening. Amos Casper, the championship leader, the runaway championship leader, 128.194. With no AMS Apple tonight, this is opportunity for Amos Casper to get some good points in this championship. Or can Amos Axe and Amos Godwin closing in? I mean, they're basically the only three, Apple, Godwin, and Axe, that can take it away from Casper. Remains to be seen if they can. Now, reserving tonight is TTV Vaxi. GG. As I think we've seen Tom Jeffs at 131.325, Amos Axe 135.93. Quite a few times there. Robert Sides 128.894, for example, Fusey 128.770. So, it's like we've got a good bit of competition here going on. Anyway, Vaxi, the unenviable task of taking the wooden spoon holder of last season, the Alpine, talking real life if you haven't understood, as he comes out of the hairpin, deploying all those French horses towards Spoon. He has the Racing Bull in the way, which will be Amos Godwin, because he's sparring partner Amos Trappy, who joined Racing Bull's Josh, even though he's not called Josh. Don't ask. Part of the rebalancing of the league to try and keep things nice, competitive, and for something more spectacular for you to watch. Vaxi after 2 sectors sets, so 111.776. Easily flat as you would imagine, and then into the triangle chicane. So the Alpine looks relatively compliant, you know. Oh, but he gets a little bit of a kick on the curb on exit, and Vaxi will settle 122 for 6. By the way, the top three have called it quits. They are confident already. Interesting. Speaking of reserves, we have ERC Jelly NL tonight. We do have in reserving. We have Big D. We have Vaxi. We have Tom J. No, Tom's actually full time now. We have, I think there's quite a few. I think that Lord's a reserve as well, if I'm not mistaken. As we see ESGL NL going to the start finish line at Steph 129.933. And we're only going to drop to, oh, by the way, CFC AL15 and the other up in he's a reserve as well. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about CFC. I didn't hear of them until today. I have to be brutally honest. Oh, slightly Spoon. You could actually see the driver made the corrections. That was an incredible view, I have to say. The course in there really gave us a great moment into the inside of how the driver looks inside the car. That's incredible. The title left reader, however, in the McLaren, he will set a 129.493, just behind Andrew Pearson in the other McLaren. And then Ollie Champ, it'll be his turn to set a time. Where can Aston Martin be? Ollie Champ's looked decently competitive when he has took part in the Aston Martin 111.859. Blasting the battery through 130 up. So clearly no fears through the chicane. As we reach halfway through qualifying one, where will Olachan put the Aston Martin? He'll split the McLarens, 129.413. Now, I suppose we had a bit of a lull. Slippery Salmon. The Spaniard has invalidated his time, but he would have made a difference anyway because it's only 133.421. He does have the fuel. Let's see what the Spaniard can do. Into turn number 2. That looked like he was throwing that Mercedes in. And now into the S's. Gotta say, the Mercedes looks reasonably in good shape. Whether that'll be quick, I'm not quite sure. Heading through the Dunlop now. Do you know one thing? That Mercedes looks very good. Whether it'll be quick, we'll have to look. I'm a very unrepresented 29.6 seconds up on his personal best after Sector 1. Let's not read too much into that yet. As he breaks into the hairpin. Say that Mercedes, I'm not saying this is going to be earth-shatteringly fast, but it just looks maybe good. As one of the Salvers in Das Amos Axel has got off on his outlap. Very strange there from our defending champion. But at least he survived. And hopefully he hasn't damaged that set of tyres too much, as he will be looking to set a time, the Swede. And it's a 1:12.15 after 2 seconds for Slippery Salmon. I suspect he's going to put in midfield if he can keep this going. Say that Mercedes just looks very compliant. Oh, and he's got the chicane. Oh, 7. You can see he's waving, he's wheeling frustration. Can't tell someone's a wheel player. Can he do that? Oh, wow. Meanwhile, ASC Jelly NL in his Mercedes-powered Williams. Let's see what they can do. Let's head through the chicane. Will they be able to improve that 129.933? I suspect they probably won't be able to. And yep, it's into the pits. We must go for ARC Jenny NL. What about the down? That's where he's the only one on the time. And he's, well, apparently he was 1.5 seconds down after the second one. So just wondering if this is just a bare practice. Getting used to the car. There is a driver in the dial 93. Can he unleash that ability? I don't think we're going to see anything this time around. Safe from the Dark Lord. But if I'm breathing wrong, I'm breathing wrong. Here we go. Into the triangle chicane. He's not going to improve, as Robert Snyder has called it quits. We've got a very confident top 4 there, and the Dark Lord now picks. So it's down to our defending champion to look at next. AMS Axel. He now needs to start taking points like Casper every 6 to go. Nearly 90 behind. 15 points to race minimum. He's going to need things for AMS Casper to happen now, because AMS Casper, I believe, now has the championship in his hands. Or very close to factoring things such as sprints. That was very square out for AMS Axel there through Spain, and he's only on a 1:13.045. So this is very unlike AMS Axel, this performance. So it looks like he's on controller, actually, which is not his natural. He's a wheel player, by the way. And he's choosing to pit. This is looking very scrabbly from AMS Axel. I believe he's trying to use a temporary setup from what I've gathered. If I am mistaken, please let me know, someone. Please let me know. I don't want to be factually incorrect. I'm very happy to be corrected. Back to CFC AL15. Let's say, and Sector 2 now. It's 1:12.905. This isn't going to be... I wouldn't say this is going to be terribly fast. But let's see where he can put that up in. He's used all the French electricity for this lap. Through capacity. And it's going to be a 1:31.251. Gonna say he's going to have to improve on that. I hope he's got the fuel to go around and then do another lap. That is... That's brilliant, I must say, from the CFC AO15. He'll be hoping for better. But bear in mind, there were only certain cars available, so that may have put drivers who probably need a quicker car in slower ones. But it's all about the taking part, first and foremost. And then, it's got to all be like the winning, right? Anyway, Tom JM. Oh, having a little bit of a swap there, coming out of Spoon. Where is that Williams going to be after 2 seconds? Is he going to look any decently good? So he's got 11 points out. He should head towards the midfield here. The top 10 looks on. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. He's used all of his German electricity from that Mercedes power unit, which is clearly built in Brixworth. This is definitely Germany. And it's a P6 129 I would imagine that will see Tom be safe. But will that encourage a few more drivers to come out? Oh, I saw CFC L15, even though it's going a lot slower, having a little bit of a moment through Spoon there. That's very unfortunate indeed. The battle Cypress Salmon will go on board with the Spaniard this time. But he's definitely committing. There's a driver in there. We know that historically. The Cypress Salmon is a decent driver. If he could hook up races better than he could, as Amos Apple says, he's good not to be here tonight. It's a shame you're not here, Amos Apple, as Cypress Salmon possibly chucks that Mercedes 3 above Dageners. He's clearly giving it everything, but he went wide on exit, and that may cost him a couple of tempting forward momentum. Positively scrubbing in front end, but then the rear just didn't seem like it wanted to allow that Mercedes to grip. You could just have had 10 stiffs if Salmon wasn't the power. Now, into Spoon. Oh, he's got the curb and he spun, but he saved it. But he's going to have to recharge. Cool down those tyres pretty quickly because there isn't too much of the session left. I hope he's got the fuel. Let's hide the UI and have a look. Oh, he's got less than a lap of fuel. That's going to be for Cypress Salmon, I believe. So it's all towards Mystery Centre. He hasn't set a time yet. Very, very, very unlucky to not win the British Grand Prix. We mentioned him in chat. He managed to steal that on the final lap. And put his hoodoo of not winning this season aside. But what about Misfits? What can he do? Now, he did confess drinking a little bit of wine before the Midweek Madness League yesterday. Hopefully he's a bit more sober today. And judging by the pace of that Ferrari, he probably is. Now, heading into the triangle chicane. Where can that Ferrari go? Cypress Salmon has already decided enough's enough, and he will be out in qualifying one here. Misfits were good P8 with the 1:29.302. You'd think that'd be enough, but now here comes the crazy. There's a few drivers left. So we've got CFC AL15, he's in an outlap. Amos Axel, he's in an outlap. Speed Freak, he's in an outlap. Andrew Pittsmith, he's in an outlap. And you know what? Let's let Amos Axel take through an all-natural lap. What can a defending champion do? This is a pressure lap for him. Here we go. And Eversax only goes 12th there. So it's all about what Speed Freak and CFC can do. We turn the attention to the Alpine first. He has to find a lot of time here. Actually, Speed Freak's going to be safe because ARC Jelly has already set his time. So it's all about what this Alpine can do. Has CFC got something? Oh, will it be Jelly that sees himself through qualifying 2? Here we go. Here we go. And it's going to be Jelly because CFC does improve by nearly 3/4 second. But he is still some 6 cents back from Jelly. And Speed Freak decides to call it quits in qualifying 1. As Amos Apple is sat pouring pints. Who sits down as a barman, Amos Apple? Who sits down to be a barman or a bar woman or a bar person or a bar gender neutral eco, Chris? Anyway, gender identities aside, because we hear about the racing, okay? And we will be able to give you the confirmation of the results of qualifying 1 with Amos Casper, the defending champion, laying down a marker, but Amos Godwin, one of his championship rivals, not far behind. And if we head towards bomb tracks, we can confirm it's CFC, AL15, and Slippery Salmon, who failed to point a representative lap in qualifying 1. Don't go anywhere. And here comes the stampede out of the pits. Got quite a few out coming out already, as we have the Dallas 93 fighting Amos Casper out of the pit lane. Clearly, everyone wants competition. Remember, clean air is very critical on a track like this. Dirty air is very, 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 very difficult to overcome. Think about the real-life Japanese Grand Prix 2025. The combination of a year 4 of the aerodynamic package, the new tarmac, which had low tire degradation, made overtaking very, very difficult. In fact, the race order didn't really change when qualifying and the race. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it the first time in F1 history the top 10 qualifying to race stayed the same? There's been over 1,100 of these races, so... Excuse me, I apologise about the yawning. You have one tired commentator, but hopefully he will get the adrenaline coming out very soon. As we have 14 of the 15 cars to element. People choosing to stay in the pits for now. Maybe he's going to do something contra, but everyone else is in Sector 2. Clearly, everyone had the same idea to rush out. But I think we need to treat you, Amos Casper. Line up and do an off-board or natural with the championship leader. There's no one better to go with. And the Swedes, that's a compared to 128.530. That's not a bad marker at all for the rest of the field. And it is 122.52 as Amos Axel has appeared to have binned it. Oh my goodness me. What's happened to Amos Axel? He has spun. I think it's the 180R. They'll run it well. What's happened to Amos Axel? That is a hugely significant moment there for the championship. Amos Axel could be, and is likely to be, 15th in qualifying 2. That is huge. That's going to put a lot of pressure off Amos Casper. He's Amos Casper's nearest challenger. But it looks like that is a huge moment and a huge dent in Amos Axel's championship defense as we see the real Damon Elsa at 129.540. I see Jelly. I think so. 134.56. No, I am lying. That is Tom Gem starting a lap. Oh, but since we are with Jelly, let's have a look, see what he can do. I think, you know what? I think he's actually not going for this. Oh, he is. He is. I do lie. Heading to our spoon. Using all the track he could and more. Looking a little tentative there. I suspect this could be confidence time, as I think that Speed Freak having a moment for whatever reason. Is Jelly improving his lap? No, he's about 2/3 of a second down. Oh, it's all chaos there. I apologise, Speed Freak's here. That must have been Amos Godwin we saw. I do apologise to Speed Freak there, and Amos Godwin. Tut. Now, this Red Bull just looks at home with its special 2025 Japanese Grand Prix livery here at Suzuka. Speed Freak. Oh! I don't think he got the line quite right on edge of the spoon, and that just upset the car immensely. But getting time on the body is critical for now, because you never know what can happen. Look at what happened to Amos Axel. A time on the board is key. This may not necessarily be the quickest. Amos Godwin thinks that 128.711 he set will suffice. It probably will. But let's see if he's right. Speed Freak coming across the final corner now. Where's he going to put that Red Bull? It's only 131.02, but it is a time on that board. Tom JM, what time can he set? It's a 149.645, which is clearly not representative, but he is going for another one. I expect he made an error and backed out early on. That Williams does look decent. Let's have a look on board. He just looks to me, he's got a car that looks perhaps overly pointy. That front end just looks so sharp. He has no faith in the rear. It is hard to set up a car perfectly here, because oversteering cars behind Suzuka are scary, and unsteering cars just burn tyres. As MS cars decide, that is enough. And you know what? That 128.5 probably is. Especially considering his teammate is already out in qualifying 2. Anyway, Tom JM, as he now heads towards Spoon. Not using the green paint on entry. He just looks devoid of confidence here in his rear end. He probably ought for his next one to just take a big front win out. Now we're in Parc Ferme. And just see if that can help balance the car somewhat. Even if it does lack a little downforce, balance is crucial for a driver's confidence. As he heads through the triangle chicane. Is he done those German electric horses? And where will Toto put the car? It's a commentating once again on 32.64. Okay, then we have the Dartle on 93 with 7 minutes left on the qualifying 2 clock. He's also burning out all his German horses in a British car. It was all. I'm not terribly sure this is going to be troubling scores too much, but I could be wrong. Maybe I've just misread what I've seen on the screen. But Dartle 93, you know what? I should have shut up. That's 129.057. That's a good time, to be fair. Very good time. What about his teammate Andrew Pittsmith in the chrome liveried McLaren, as we saw in the British Grand Prix last year? Where can Andy put that McLaren? Can he threaten his teammate? It's 124.0 for P7. That's decent. That is very decent indeed. Misfits appears to be currently on an in-lap. And yeah, just trying to look. Is Tom going for it still? I'd imagine not, looking at his Delta. And now, let's have a look with Jelly again. I do apologise about the yawning. I've been up very early this morning, but you don't care about that. You care about what you are seeing in front of you here. And Jelly, he looks a bit more confident with his car than Tom GM, at least on this lap anyway. Tom's rear end looks like he just wanted to go at any point and didn't want any power applied to it. He just wanted to loop round. And he's signing 6 tenths as Jelly so far. That could, if he can keep that rate of progress going, put him into that top 10. And the rest will... Oh, but is he validated in the chicane? Oh, no! That's a great shame. Now, we have Fuse Demon, one of our beloved head administrators here in Performance Racing Formula 1, and the most experienced PRF1ist in the field tonight. Where is he going to put that Mercedes Benz? He has been demoted from the Red Bull to Mercedes. I tell you one thing, though. If he's finding 9 temps after 2 sectors, he could end up top in the session here. Where can my fellow Yorkshireman put that Mercedes? As he said to burn through those German horses. MS Casper, you may have competition. That's a 1:28.276 from Fuse Demon. That'll get the attention of MS Casper. Now with Fuse Demon having nothing to lose, if he's generally in the fight to win, he could be very dangerous. As I was saying last night in the Mini Madness League chat, but where the man has nothing to lose, because they can take gambles, dive bombs. But you just can't. People like MS Casper just can't right now. And that's going to be crucial. Because if it's a last lap lunge and MS Casper Fuse makes, what's Casper going to do? He's naturally going to think, protect, championship lead. Because second to Fuse would not be a bad outcome. In fact, it'd be a very good outcome. That means he'll have beaten who he needed to beat. I'm starting to see a few outlaps now. I wonder how many drivers are going to dare to not set a further lap, versus those who feel they're safe or want to take a risk. As we have 3.5 minutes on the clock, we have Fuse Demon top of the session, 1:28.276. Amos Casper in second, 1:28.530. Then Amos Godwin, 1:28.711. Followed by Robert Nice, the down 93 Misfits, and Twist Speed 3 Demon, Big D, and Backseat, your top 10 currently, and Introduction, Speed 3, Fun Gem, ARC Jelly, Ollie Champ, who wasn't third time yet. Mr. Axel, he crashed earlier on. We have to make one. How many more twists and turns are we going to see in this session? Anyway, we go back to Vaxi now, deploying all of his French horses on the run to Spoon. Not using all the track, but gotta say, he's giving the Alpine everything but the understeer. The Alpine just couldn't quite take the demands of Vaxi. But where's he going to be after 2 sectors? He's finding 7 tenths at his current time. Is the track evolving? It's a case of use to new tyres. Right, if he can threaten us towards the top, that could be quite curious. Particularly if it's Casper and Godwin. They've committed to finishing the session. And it's a 1:29.06. I do apologise again. That's a 1:29.068 from Baxi. That takes him 6. Well, that's hardly a lap at all. As we now look towards Misfits, he is finding over a third of a second of a second one, and that looks very committed with Techno 1. Techno 2 looking very nice as well. Can he translate that into some raw speed in that Ferrari? Very nice and rotation there through there, pinning it traction up very well. But Misfits has got a decent setup, and he is finding a decent communication with the Ferrari. Now into Spoon. I say this is looking all right here for Misfits. Looking quite all right indeed, but how about that translate in terms of the stopwatch, which is the only thing that matters? And he's nearly 6 tenths up after 2 sectors. This is going to be threatening Casper and Godwin here. So let's see where Misfits can put it. Out of the triangle chicane, burning whatever battery he's got left. Here we go, Misfits. Here you go, second with a 28.390. Amos Casper, Amos Godwin's attention really has been caught now. As Son Jam comes across that finish line, he tops it with a 1:28.142. Cast pigeons. He didn't look at one of the car really, but clearly, if he can hook it up, it's looking fast. As Robert Stiles goes by the 1:28.361. Amos Casper, Amos Godwin might have started to get nervous here. We're starting to see drivers who I didn't think would beat them are beating them. So, the 10th weight begins for two of those championship protagonists. With one Amos Axel out in qualifying 2 and Amos Apple not here tonight. And to be say positively giving up McLaren some gusto through Spain. And a little bit wider through the middle. But let's see where he can be after the second sector. He's down on his time. He's going to have to find an inspired chicane here to improve. Here we go. Meanwhile, Vaxi has finished, Jelly's finished, Ollie Champ has finished. You know what? I do think Casper and Godwin are probably safe as Andrew Pittsburgh has called it quits. Now to the real Damon Hill as one of the throws gets out of the way. And then the McLaren Dal on 93 gets out of the way. Now, I always said about Real Damon Hill, seems to have seen him drive. He never met in PRF1. There is a driver there as he's down 1.5 times on himself in Sector 2. He's on the cusp. Can he survive? He goes into the chicane very deep. Oh, the traction was just not there. So he will not improve. It's all on Big Dean Speed Freak. Can they launch themselves out of the drop zone and eliminate the real Damon Hill? Speed Freak's done it. He's also put Andrew Pittsmith in trouble. Who is eliminated by Big D? And Ollie Champ does not set a time for whatever reason. So we lose MS Axel, shockingly, the defending champion. Ollie Champ, who didn't set time. ALC Jelly and now the Red Demon and Andrew Pittsmith out to qualify to anyways. Tom Jan, who topped the session. Don't go anywhere. Qualifying 3 is going to be interesting. Amos Casper and Amos Godwin have got something to think about now. That's not a bad thing, right? And welcome everyone to qualifying number 3. The Down 93 keen to get out in the McLaren. By the way, it's nice to see that they've updated the McLaren to have the Gemini, which they had in lieu of Chrome. Must be something that Google was wanting to push in this era of AI, but that's by the by. It does look quite. I'll say it looks nicer with Gemini than Chrome. That's just my opinion. Anyway, you don't care about my opinion. You want to see qualifying 3 happen. You know what? So do I. So do I. Go in chat. Who do you think is going to get pole position? We're going to see any surprises. Right, here we are. Down 93 as the first to set a time. I think he should take us on natural. Here we go. So we're 5-1 next week. That's a very good sign. But what about everyone else? MS Casper, he's about to start his time. So we look towards Big D. He's next set time 128.318. What about the Ferraris? Misfits 123.62. Robert Snipes. It's his turn to cross the line. 128.450. Everyone's finding our speed. AMS Godwin. I want 28.290 for the triple champion. He wants his crowns back. That's a very good time for AMS Godwin. But we know there's more from others to come. We have Vaxi to come across the line next. Where can he put the Alpine? Well, he's invalid and he chooses to pit. So next, we look towards Tom JM. And whilst it doesn't look like he's going to get pole here, he does look like he is going to put the Williams up somewhere respectable. But we are seeing times develop very, very nicely. He comes round the final corners, Tom, and he sets a 128.588. So it's next to AMS Casper. Where's that Saber going to be? The championship leader. 110.6. All he has to do really tonight, if AMS actually struggling that much, is just beat AMS Godwin, and it is a job done. But I wouldn't rule out AMS Axel out quite yet. He is the defending champion for a reason. As AMS Casper has a 127.776. What a time from the Swede. That is incredible. Wow, talk about a champion's lap. Oh, my goodness me. Now it's time for Fee's doing so lap. We will commentate on this one as he heads down towards turn number 1. Took it in very, very, very nicely. And now heading towards the S's. The Mercedes looking better now. Fuse. He's really, really, really got that front end working very well. We saw how quick he was at the end of qualifying 2. So I reckon we are going to see something develop even further here in qualifying 3. Kind of most experienced man here, at least in PRF1, make something happen. The 32.6 off the sector 1 apparel, that's purple. I would pinch a salty with this game. But I'll tell you one thing, he is making that Mercedes work very well. Let's head into the braking zone off the hairpin. So choosing to take the tight line. You can go wide and go around the second lane. That can also work, or you can V off the corner. There are multiple ways to skin a cat. And those are just 3 of them. And now into Spoon. I said that Mercedes just looks so good. He's got that front end possibly working for him. Where is Fuse going to be after 2 sets? Bear in mind, it was a 110.6 for AMS Casper. It's a 111.4. I expect he's doing this on a set of scrub tyres and saving his last set for a good old Banzai at the end. Where can that Mercedes be? Because it does look good. You have to be said, the Baz looks good. It's only 128.883. He stays 8th. But there is surely more to come there from my fellow Yorkshireman. Now towards his now former teammate, Speed Freak, who after 2 sectors will be a 111.154. So he might end up at same people like the Dart Lord and Tom James at the moment, as he now breaks into the chicane. Now Red Bull looking, very decent as he heads towards that finish line. And it will be for Speed Freak a 128.61. Smash the head of Fuse Demon. But after those first runs, it's first blood to AMS Casper by some margin. Over half a second ahead of AMS Godwin, who is in a faster car, by the way. There's no way that Sauber is as quick as the Racing Bull. At least in the game, anyhow. I certainly feel like that in real life. But he's Noah's Ark behind the Racing Bulls as well, because you have both Ferraris there too. Has to be said, though, it's between 2nd and 7th. There's less than 310, 0.298 from AMS Godwin to Tom JM. That is quite close. But it remains to be seen, can we see any further developments on these times? I doubt we're going to see 26s, but I do think others can breach the 88-second barrier and set some 127s. But we are now in that lows. Everyone has come into the pits, come to refuel, take the Q3 mandatory set, and then go for it once more. That would be interesting to know, at least in the game, they've actually got the teams in the reverse 2024 Constructors' Championship order. Normally it's it's top to bottom, but it's bottom to top. Speedfeet will bring it into the pit, so that will help the McLaren folks, weirdly, be able to make a pit stop. Now, we start thinking about those fan runs as we see Misfits has already chosen to leave. Clearly, he's hungry to fit in towards that pole position slot. Just a question of when's the best time with regards to traffic, dirty air, or to be able to prepare your car. Into the zone, that one lap of magic. If you hook it up around here, it can feel fan-dabby-dozy. I'm still trying to work out who's got pole position here. I think it's AMS Casper, but behind him, he's going to be more difficult to call. So, I guess let's find out and see what becomes of this session. And for one last time, we will go au natural when Misfits comes across start finish line, and then we will see who will be our pole setter here for the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio Japanese Grand Prix. Take it away, Misfits. Here we go. G3 Crescendo starts now. That's 122 and 6 Misfits. He goes towards the front row. And it's Sonjem who will come across the line next. It's a 127.854. Knocking Misfits off. But who'll be next to set time? I believe that'll be Vaxi. In the Alpine. Going out of spin. Where can we see Vaxi put that Alpine after 2 sectors? 110.996. So we're probably not looking at pole setting pace. But he certainly, well, he can only improve from no time, I suppose. Throwing it into the chicane. Out he comes on the power, very hard. Well, we've actually put the car. It will be a 128.279 to go. P4. Then be Fuse Demon. It was at 127.994. Then it will be AMS Godwin, the one to watch. Oh, the 128.290. AMS Godwin, 127.504. To extend his advantage. Robert Snipes, 128.231. Down to 3. 128.106. And with Speed Freak not improving, the session over. Big D pitting. A Misfit's probably not on a time. I will just check. It's AMS Casper who will take the pole position for the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio Japanese Grand Prix. And things just keep getting better for him. AMS Axel will start 15th. AMS Godwin will start 8th. AMS Casper's on pole position. If those positions hold, then with Amos Apple not taking part, I do sense things are just going to get very tricky for his title rivals. They have to take points out of him, and seeing him win would be a disaster. So for Amos Godwin and Amos Axel are going to roll back some years and show why they are champions. They need to show now, as Big D confesses he was 4 attempts up on his time, and that would have put him towards that front row had he managed to hook at Seg 3 as well. He is frustrated in the chat, I can reveal. But he has nothing to be ashamed of because he's stuck with Amos Godwin there, who is the full-time driver. So, you know what? Probably where the Racing Bull duo were meant to be. There's Amos Casper, who took pole position. He will be on the front with Tom JM. Refused Demon being third with the non-alien pole. Dal Nash 3 in 4th. Misfits in 5th. Robert Snice in 6th. All Ferrari, row 3. With TTV Vaxi, Amos Godwin, Big D, and Speed Freak. Finishing off your top 10. Don't go anywhere. Race time is coming. Let's go. And here we go. Now, reminder, the aliens have to start on soft tyres. That's Amos Casper, Tom JM, Amos Godwin, and Amos Axel tonight out of those I hear. Those who have been able to have a free choice. Fuse Demon, Adult 93, Misfits, Robert Snipes, TTV Vaxi, Big D, Andrew Pisman, Frail Demon Hill, ARC Jelly, Ollie Champ, CFC AL15, Superstar, and also on mediums. With only Speed Freak. Just surprised me, starting on hards. Hards are such a good tie around here, though. So, keep that in mind as we see all the strategy possibilities. Now, I do think those Softs can do the one-stop today. I could be wrong. But I do think it is doable. Not saying it's realistic. I'm just saying it's doable. But I think I said Amos Casper has to make hay while the sun shines here at Suzuka. But surely he has got a great chance to make his championship feel slightly more difficult to prevent. With Amos Godwin 8th, Amos Axel 15th. Amos Axel, the shocker qualifying. I know he's not had the greatest day of preparation with train delays, power cuts in his area. Not exactly ideal preparation for one league race in the performance race in Formula 1. I never realised that was going to make no sense. Race the performance race Formula Season 13 Fangio Japanese Grand Prix. Callum will now be taking you through this race. This is going to be fun. This is going to be exciting. Now, I don't know what will be tonight, but what I do know is it's going to be fun. It's going to be frantic, and there's going to be a lot of action. Amos Casper coming in from wide. He's clearly got that Sauber pointed at the Williams. He has got all eyes on trying to get to turn 1 first. As we now see Sebri Salmon coming to view. As with Olachamp, I believe, was disconnected. Coming towards the rear. Maybe that's why Olachamp didn't set a time in qualifying 2. Has to be now. Wait for those lights to appear. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Japanese Grand Prix is go, 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 go! Amos Casper gets a good start. He manages to cross over and defend his lead. As we have the Darnage making a great start. He's up to 3rd already. As we see a lot jostling towards the back. With the Ghost of Ollie Champ at the rear, watching it all. But it's still Amos Casper in the lead. Front Tom Jen down at 93. PZ Misfits. Amos got it already up to 6. And it looks like he wants more from Misfits. And we've got a fight between Big D and Robert Snipes there. But for 8. I thought Amos was going to try and surprise attack as Andrew Peacemaker has now taken Robert Snipes. Not a good start for the Ferrari. A good start from the McLaren. Was there contact there? Or was that just a little bit of a debris being kicked up? As the cars went through the Degners. But again, Amos Casper doing what he needs to do. A Speed Freak losing a couple of positions. Has he had a moment? It appears that things are happening. Because look, we have Amos, Speed Freak, Zippery 7 and CFC all there. As we see, Speed Freak, Zippery 7 got Sam's a spoon. Starting quite speed, he's had to go off, and he now heads towards the back of the field. We got Big D's overtook Vaxi for P number 7. And we've got Emma Squadron all over Misfits. Misfits makes a defensive move. Meanwhile, we've had Smith and Robert Snice going at it again into the chicane. They give each other room, to be fair. And it's Andrew Bisbee who will drain Supreme now, but Robert Snice round the outside. A very good move there. And that will be P number 9 for the Ferrari. IMS Godwin is the behind line to overtake Misfits. Has it into the S's. Oh, but Misfits hands it on. Now he's got to ask himself for P6. He needs to make these soft work. This is the time. Side aggression can only have a favour of those as Jelly's overtook the real Damon Hill for P number 11. IMS Godwin looking to the He is itching. He knows. He has to make something happen very quick if he wants to get Charles. As Maxi has gone up and he's lost his front wing at the second Degner. I'm amazed that took a wheel off, frankly. And that's him, relegated towards the rear. As AMS Casper tries to stretch that lead for over a second or Tom Gem, but I think he's going to struggle with that, particularly with the Mercedes power of that Williams. The dial on that street, by the way, handing on those mediums. Great pace on the dial nice in recent weeks. When he's shown flashes of it, he just needs to translate it. Mrs. still has Amos Godwin all over him. Can Mrs. try and get Fuse Demons DRS? Trying off Amos Godwin down towards turn 1. But Amos Godwin's looking menacing. Tom Gemos as well. This literally worth a lot more here than it clearly was in real life. Amos Godwin tries to now set up Misfits up. It's a good one out of the chicane, has to be said for Amos Godwin. The PRF1 champion. As Dallas decides to fight out the race. He eventually passes Misfits, and that's P5 Amos Godwin. He has to keep making this progress. Either wants his title hopes to continue. I mean, double runner-up in season 12. But simply Simon has relegated Amos Axel. It's not going well. Amos Axel, he's down to 13th, and he doesn't look like he's got any pace to come forward. I see AL15. Tries to do what he can as Vaxi comes in for a change of front wing, a run wing going on a front wing. Bit of French witchcraft going on there, apparently. But look, Tom Gem is handing right all over Amos Casper. Bear in mind, Amos Casper here does not need to beat Tom Gem today. Second to people that aren't his fight, he will settle for. He wasn't too disappointed after losing the British Grand Prix because it was kind of damage limitation for him. It wasn't the worst result for him. So his reputation of being hot-headed and irrational in the pressure moments, maybe they are starting to fade away, and maybe he's just starting to realise with the championship finally starting to be on the line as Vax appears to have made another mistake in the S's. But look, that Williams is menacing. It will not go away. But there's a lot more battery in that Ferrari power unit of the Cyber, and Amos has decided that's enough. He's going to get rid of those softs only after 3 laps. So guys, committed to it is Amos Godwin sets the fastest lap on those softs. But Amos Casper's going to be towards the rear. Oh, the car's not releasing. Oh, is that visual? Yes, it's just a glitch. Calm down. But the Dallas got free to multiple warnings. That's the Dallas undoing its penalties. If he could stay on track, he would be one dangerous driver. Amos Axel chooses double stack and go into hards. Do something different. He definitely needs to result Amos Axel tonight. Now it's Tom Jet, maybe he's leading from Fuse Demon, who is looking very pretty on those mediums after, I reckon, Fuse Demon could be looking a strong favourite here. What about AMS Godwin as they're all in a DRS train behind Fuse Demon here? That's just not Godwin, it's the down that's right. It's Misfits, it's Big D. Look at them all. They're to follow each other quite closely. Something we didn't really see in real life 2025 Japanese Grand Prix. But we're seeing it right here now in PRF1. Oh, that's a bit wider for AMS Godwin. But he has been proud. Oh, and Vax is chosen to call it quits in the pits. Whether that'll be considered dimly, I do not know. Godwin still sending DRS of Fuse Demon, but Fuse Demon is closing in on that Williams. As Tom Jam chooses to go around again. Now, he hasn't got DRS fuse, but he's gaining range. So this is going to hot up towards the front here. But look at all that, though. The field is still relatively close. We're only 4 laps complete as Amos Casper's already got Ollie Champ behind him. The ghost of, I would presume. But if he knows soft stand here, because Amos Godwin has become detached from Fuse Demon, and Fuse Demon is now becoming all over Tom. As Jelly passes Andrew Pittsmith for 8th behind him. And as we look from the heli, Fuse Demon just looks like he's got more confidence right now. Those soft tires just haven't got the grip. They've been visibly don't have the grip. I mean, look at Fuse Demon, he looks like he's got so much more poise in that Mercedes at the moment. Man, it's equal donkeys. Both those Mercedes power units in the Williams and the Mercedes. But Amos Squadron has also recalled this race, and maybe it's just Tom struggling a bit more. I do think the softs are becoming a bit of a struggle, but I do think it is Tom that is suffering a bit more. Looking at the rear tyres of drivers, yeah, Amos Godwin's tyres are still looking up. Maybe Tom had to start unused. As Fuse Demon takes out a lot of that chicane, will Tom choose the time to pit now? Unsurprisingly, yes, he does. And for one, I don't really blame him there. Let's see what Amos Godwin's going to go around again. Unsurprisingly, it's going to be hard tyres. Quite significant delta. But he's got to the Sabres there. It's going to be a couple of laps. We can see that Amos Casper is coming down now out of the final corner. And I think he will likely have Tom here. Tom, though, isn't too far behind. Yes, there has been a delta with the undercut. But it's only been a couple of seconds, and the age of the time may come crucial at the end if they are trying to extend to a 1, if they could somehow pull it off. Meanwhile, Amos Casper! Amos Casper's at the moment! That is huge! That could be Amos Godwin and Amos Axel saving grace there. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it looks like he's lost it completely on his own. That's a great shame. I know he's grand. That's quite an interesting spectator. And that will not be great viewing for Casper's family. He must redouble his efforts again as Tom JM becomes effective leader of the aliens. And Scott, meanwhile, is doing very well. Same with Fuse Demon here so far, considering the tyres are in a bit of a tricky situation for him. As Casper re-overtakes the Ghost of Volley Champ. And Scott, meanwhile, not great about Misfits hanging on to the move. Misfits again having a good start to a Grand Prix. And Scott is starting to go for traction a bit now. The tyres are looking second hand. I do expect Tom did start unused. But I do think Godwin is generally going to try to go for me, while the Darlord has the big D to worry about. There is just no answer when you got your battery that low. And Big D makes it up to position number 4 with Robert Snipes in very close proximity to the pair of them. As he was in on the action. We've got Andrew Bisbee very close to ASC Jelly and the Real Demon Hills very close by the Spearfreak on those hards, being the outlier. Slippery Salmon and CFC behind. Tom Gem, the first of those that starts. Amos Casper, he will be frustrated from that mistake. But he's definitely pushing that Sauber hard. He just needs to keep it going because I do think he has to at least be AMS Axel tonight. And I think he's going to do it. Amos Godwin, not so critical. Andrew P. Smith has lost a couple of positions. That's why he's gone off at the second Degner. He will be very disappointed, Andrew P. Smith there. But like AMS Godwin sticking with Fuse Demon. He's doing very well to do that because if you look at the softs, they're not in great shape. But even the medium's not looking the greatest anymore. So maybe if he's had to come back to those on softs, maybe AMS Godwin's playing a blinder here. Wonder how much further, because again he's going to stay in the DRS. Fuse Demon, must wonder how critical that is, but his battery level is very concerning for him. And he's going to go around again. Appears on another moment. It's for the Donut 3. It's been a disastrous lap for the McLarens. The 7 gets 3 seconds, multiple warnings. As we see one of the bollards get clipped. And the Donut 3's tyres look like they were melting at the rear there. Above McLaren's aerobatica as Andrew Pittsmith comes into the pits. CSC L15 gets 3 seconds, multiple warnings. Let's see what Andrew does on the old strategy. He's the first of those on the medium to pit. So Amos Godwin's gone longer than Andrew Pittsmith. That is curious, considering Amos Godwin, notorious for poor tyre wear, making slots last longer than the tyre eking McLaren. It's another set of mediums interest Andrew Pittsmith. He's going to a 2, and he's got front wing damage. And that goes back. So we now know he's only got one set of hards to think about. Amos Godwin still sticking with Fuse Demon here with 20 laps to go. Well, that wheel spin there from the Red Bull Powertrain Honda power unit, that was very notable. But look at the understeer through spoon. I wonder how much is dirtier, how much is the lack of tyre grip. That front right will be dying a death. The both will be, with it being a figure of 8 track. I have to admit, I am impressed with Amos Godwin so far. Is he going to try and hang out as long as he dares? Because all the others who started on softs have already long got rid of theirs. You look at the Sabers who have already put farts on the tyres. Tom Jeremy's put 2 on. Amos Godwin's going around yet again. Maybe he's going to make these for a one-stopper and just try to. Meanwhile, Misfits behind him. Can he do anything? But the DRS that Amos Godwin got on Fuse Demon, keeping him in. But Misfits tries to send it to turn 2. Unbelievable move. As the Dal gets 10 seconds to speed in the pit lane. That's very unfortunate there. The Tom James sets 131.66. Dallas chosen to call it quits. Again, that's not necessarily legal. But whether that early retirement rule is workable, I'm not quite sure myself. That's just my opinion. Anyhow, we have Misfits now trying. Can he now call his way towards Fuse Demon? I wonder how Amos Godwin's feeling now he's being overtaken by Misfits. Will he be thinking, as he likes to say, or can he just hang on to them both and just keep with the side track? But those softs are looking very second hand now. But he's done a third race distance on them. You have to say fair enough. He's done well to do so, as the DRS's basically flipped the 2 carriages behind Fuse Demon, as they're both still going to be DRSing, but for a big deal, Robert Snipes are closing in on that bunch, as the Amos Casper has now made it up to 10th as in pursuit of making his way forward, but he has lost Science on GM nearly 6 seconds now. Amos Godwin he has now lost the DRS of the 2 in front, but he is about to complete a 10th lap on softs. I think hard to go to the end from here. I'm not saying it'd be easy, but it's doable. As Amos actually is now overtook Ollie Champ, the Ghost. I think Amos Godwin here is playing a blinder to at least usurp his fellow aliens. I'm not so sure about winning the race. The softs just look really tricky now, and he's falling 2 seconds behind Misfits. Maybe that was the time to have changed tyres. But as I said, Misfits is really starting to claw in on Fuse Demon. Good battery usage so far from both. They've both got very high packs. I guess the question remains to be seen. Can Misfits make his way forward? Surely that win is going to be coming for Misfits at some point. Surely. But he's closing in on Fuse a lot here. The batteries there are really good. Oh, we've had a mistake. Someone. Oh, Amos Godwin for the 3rd time in 2 races has a puncture. He has just pushed that front left too far. That'd be music to the ears and the eyes of Amos Casper. I had a feeling Amos Godwin should have pitted, as he had a moment because I think he's lost front wing as well. What's happened there? The triple PRF1 champion, because that's Ton JM who has pitted, making his way by. Godwin will be gutted. He is locking up, and he's nearly having to use the old layout there, and he is. And he's going to have to go into the pits, crawl that racing bull in. He will be frustrated. I don't think it's a bad idea, this strategy, but I just think he pushed it a bit too far. That's evidence there. what size will upon him. I'm assuming this has got to be hard to the end. It's the only way it can go. As he has a replacement front wing put on as well. Did he have a moment to fall into the barrier, or did tyre wear send him into the barrier? Time will find out as all the champs goes decides to pit. Misfit still hanging on. If he's doing here. Big D and Robert Knight still relatively close. And Speed with me on those hards. Starting to make progress. He is closing in. Hard to the tie now, I would suspect. For those who started him, but Speedwick's the only one to have played this. So he will be one to watch. All champs goes has chosen Sauce, whatever the reason Speed Freak there went wide. That'll be a warning. But look at Robot Snice. He is really close. The same for the league battle as well. Which one do you want to see? I'm not quite sure. Robot Snice really getting close. 3-1-30 yard. The slick stream effect will heighten. And now into the braking zone. Misfit series to have lost a lot there, but then he hasn't. I think we're going to have to focus this there because this is the battle for the lead. The lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Can Misfits make a move on Fuse Demon? Oh, yes, he can, but not quite. Fuse Demon goes wide though between turns 1 and 2, and that gives Misfits the lead. As Big D keeps Robert Sides behind. So Jem, meanwhile, Clay every Salmon who has chosen to get rid of those mediums. Oh, I'm assuming that's going to be hard for the Mercedes. Of course, and away the Spaniards will leave the box now. Squad, meanwhile, he is 14th, 11.5 around MS Axels. MS Casper may have made that mistake earlier, but as it stands now, he won't be too unhappy because with one tyre rival not in the race, 2 tyre rivals behind him on an equivalent strategy, or in MS Godwin's case, a long way behind. I do think MS Casper right now, also he won't be too delighted because of course he has made a mistake. He is 8th, but we are going through the strike cycle now. But he is doing everything he needs to do in regards to his championship. So he won't be too distressed either. As we now see Speed Freak has joined that fight for 3rd. Those hards are really starting to work on that Red Bull now. This is pulled away from the real Damon Hill, his teammate behind him in the normal livered Red Bull. As we now see Ross like surely can set an overtake up on Big D now. Well, Misfits has pulled the gap of his team and no surprise. Oh, Big D, Ross Ice, oh, they're all in. Speed Freak also goes round on those hards. His demon will nicely go to hard tyres. As we see a race of the 3 pit crews. And away Fuse Demon goes. Robstash then comes into his box. Can he get ahead of Big D? He's never going to can. No, he can't. The real Demon Hill, meanwhile, he will also go to hard. The race of 4 pit crews. Make that 5. Because Alpine will join the race later as CFC L15 comes in. And imagine this is what the game has suggested and people just took that as read. Again, mediums hards, not really a great surprise. This CL15, not having a great debut race, but they have said he's still in it, he's still sticking with it, and he's not embarrassed. Remember, the Alpine's not the easiest car to drive. You know, Misfits still going around in those mediums. I wonder what's going to do. Will he respond to the undercut threat of Fuse Demon and Co? Or will he keep those mediums going as long as he can? And try something different, maybe have a tie delta on hards, which will be difficult to do around here. In terms of generating a good one, because I have to go a long way. Or will he stick it out and go to softs in a few laps time? That'll be the question. Or is he going to surprise us all and pit right now? Oh, yes, he is. So he's, oh, maybe he will be going to hards. He's going to respond to that undercut. Very nicely on the limiter there, not losing too much speed. Near comes in as Speed Freak Nestle takes over the lead. Tom GM in second. That's the stress. So we've got Tom GM second. AMS Casper, Val probably fourth, come third. Those will be Misfits out of the pace. Misfits, meanwhile, will easily come ahead of Fuse Demon. But Fuse Demon would be interested to see Misfits be under a little closer. Might have about 3 or 4 times, but it counts. Can he use the tyre heat advantage to try and do anything about Misfits? Stay close and try and use that DRS to determine. Oh, we're even trying to take him into spoon. It's what we're going to find. I think going from interval to leader now. I started trying to see the strategy, but I imagine Tom and Casper will have to pit again. It will be a long stretch for them on those tyres. And I do think Misfits will have a lot more pace. So if he's Demon than the likes of Casper and Tom right now. But those hards are not looking great on Speed Freaks either. I'll just wonder, has he chewed his tyres? Or, even though he is on hards. But as I said, I think he's in a position where he can make the start. I mean, if it starts this like it's the complete mirror of what Misfits has done. Will he choose to just stand a little more and try and use the best medium tyres? Oh, we've got yellow somewhere. Oh, Emma's got rid again, has gone off. Oh, this is not turning out to be going well for the triple PRF1 champion. And he's lost more front wing. Oh, my goodness me. This is not AMS Godwin's night, has to be said. But he has to keep going round now, just try and collect precious points. AMS Casper. It's a definite 2 for the championship leader as he now comes in. It's hards to hards. And away the Swede goes. The soft tyre rule has really caused Aliens problems. I think Scott might be not something, but he just pushed those softs too far, or he pushed them too hard. Depending how you want to see it. And AMS Casper will come out P11. And he's going to be side by side with his team AMS Axel. He's made a pit stop on his team AMS Axel. AMS Axel really not having a great time of it tonight. Having to use the pad, it's just not working out well for the defending champion. And to see Timmy come out ahead of him. Bear in mind, the pit on the same lap, they double stacked for the first stops. Can't imagine what AMS Axel's feeling, but he's not a natural pad player. He's definitely more of a real player. So AMS Godwin comes in and repairs his damage. He will help me on me first, yes he can. I will be hoping for bed at some point very soon. Speed Freak still going round on those hands. When will he choose to come in? He's still going round, you know. Still going round. A safety car would be brilliant for Speed Freak right now. Get that cheap stop. It'll be good for Tom as well. That's a bit Misfit still. He's still doing okay. He's got about 9 seconds ahead of him to Tom Chiem. Fuse Demon in DRS. Their back will regime. Meanwhile, Jelly on those older hards. Has Big D coming up behind. He can Big D anything round the outside to turn 1. And nice easy pickings there for the Racing Bull. As the battle of the reserves occurs, meanwhile Robert snipes. The one who finally defeated the Aliens last time now. Here he is in 7th. Watching the Racing Bull and the Williams do battle with each other. I say Jelly's doing well here to stick with Big D, not dirty on those older tyres. I have to say, fair play. Fair play. I don't know if there's any more battles going on at the moment. I think it just kind of is. The battle there between Misfits and Fuse then. That three-way train for P number 5. But I think Speedwick is really struggling now. He's the only one left to pit. I think if he's going to pit, he's going to have to do it now. Try and get any advantage. I mean, 11 laps of mediums, I think, will be about right. Shear's got to come in. Oh, is he goal handing for a safety car? He's still going round. Does Speed Freak have an idea about how to approach this race? I haven't. Is he thinking of softs at the end? That would be an interesting call. Tonche, meanwhile, has chosen to make a second stop. And he will go to hards again, unsurprisingly. As we see all those non-aliens pass the aliens. It's been one of those nights. It just hasn't fallen favour. But Tonche, is he going to get ahead of Rail Terminal? Rail Terminal round the outside. Oh, he doesn't want the Red Bull ahead. That's going to slow him up for a few corners. Will that get AMS Casper interested? But think about it, now everything has shaken out, barring Speed Freak. You have to say it. AMS Casper is legitimately 11th after everyone's made their stops, apart from Andrew Pittsburgh, who has to make a second. It's all about the progress that Tom J and MS Casper can make. With MS Axe and MS Squadron in trouble, they will be the two to watch. Meanwhile, Misfits has broken the DRS or fuse. Big D has managed to break Jelly's DRS, and it's now Robo Snipes. Closing in into spin. I'm imagining that Fry's going to be soon. Oh, that's an awful lot. Is that me? Is that the game? That was a little bit laggy, that. So things are starting to go to pop. Here comes Robo Snipes. Is he going to make a move into the chicane? He'll have the DRS at the very least. He has a slight look, but doesn't do too much. Now, can he release off the chicane and get the job done? They've both got a good amount of battery. Speedbeat finally chooses to pit. It'll be a set of mediums as we see Jelly try and defend Robo Snipes, but I think this is to no avail, and Jelly's also in fuel trouble as well. I think he's the only one judged by that as well. No, Salmon is too. Well, some expecting the safety car that's yet to arrive and desperately needs to arrive. As Tom GM overtakes the real Damon Hill for P number 8. I apologise, Bjorn. Again. I'm okay, promise. I'm just tired. I'm a tired commentator, but I will get through these last 10 laps for you all. You deserve to see how the first race of Formula Season 13 Fangio Japanese Grand Prix finishes. As we have the Speed Freak train, Speed Freak me has actually come out just ahead of this battle. So that's crucial. He has come ahead of Tom JM. So he's managed to make his way in front of the aliens at least. Can he do anything else? He's got a time entry in those forwards. He's got to start making some hay now. Now his sun has started to shine. But I think right now, the person in the best chance to win a race, it's got to be Misfits, right? I'm not sure the aliens can make that time up. And overtaking here is tricky at the best of times, as epic as this track is. But I do think the advantage will be heading towards Misfits right now. Can he hold off his demon off? Can he? But meanwhile, Big D, can he make progress? As Robo Snipes and Jelly do their thing. Jelly with no airs left. Slippery Salmon as well, struggling with fuel. I'm just trying to see if I turn off that UI, how many laps they're down. Jelly's down nearly 2 laps. Salmon is about fuel neutral, to be fair. Thermos Gas, that's a fast lap of the race, remember. You do get 2 for an FL. 2 points with 50 for a win, remember. With AMS Casper trying to pursue down and recover his day. Andrew Pisman, meanwhile, going to source. I wonder if there's an FL attempt coming in at McLaren. As he will easily clear CFC L50 at pace. AMS Axel still in 13th. This is such an nice life on. AMS got in 15th. So AMS Casper may be 10 legitimately right now. But things are not so bad for him because everyone else in the championship is struggling. But look, it's a non-alien. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with Tom TM being the lead alien at the moment. As he will try and take Speed Freak at some point. Better Speed Freak on those fresh mediums. Which is how will Misfits be feeling right now? With 8 laps to go, the nerds will be kicking in as the AMS class, by the way, has overtook the real Damon Hill. With Tom GM trying to look at what Speed we can simply summon do. This all signs to happen here. The aliens will start to move their way forward. Speed Freak, can he go around the outside of Super Summon into turn 1? Doesn't even need turn 1, he's made it. Using those tyres, well, the track's advantage you will have had out the chicane, and he gets a hold off Super Salmon and Tom JM off for another lap. I guess Amos has a chance to catch. Super Salmon being ahead. But him, meanwhile, just cannon on in the top 10. He's doing well. Well, they sleep battle. He said, oh, Slippery Salmon's at the moment out of the second tag. No, I was talking about lead battles, and that's 7 for Tom GM. Very nice and easy move. Can he manage to pursue Speed Freak now? Well, our Speed Freak took those mediums long enough that he will actually be okay regarding the tire degradation. Misfit's still got that 1.3-second lead. Fuse Demon trying to do everything he can to take one for not significant. No. Misfits will get the DRS from Ollie Champ's Ghost. That's not good news for Fuse at all, because Misfits can use this to his advantage and just eke out this lead a bit more. You bet Misfits will use that DRS. Oh, yes, he does. As he now lasts Ollie Champ's Ghost. And that's going to be 1.5 seconds. DRS. He is very lucky, Misfits, but you got to take the luck while you can. As Reeves has to pass up a 1:38.90 with the overtake he made on Slippery Sour. Now he pursues RC Jelly, though, is in trouble. We know he's got nowhere near enough fuel. I don't know if he's under-fueled or he's just burnt through the fuel. Well, that's not great fuel management in any case. So I don't know if Big Freak knows this, as Andrew Pittsburgh does set a fast lap, and they speculate. As he's out the fastest lap away from AMS Casper. Those sauce and that McLaren being used sweetly to usurp the hard shod Sauber. That Swedish driving. But that is just starting to hot up a little bit nicely now. Not sadly for the lead. Even though Misfit still has to pay attention, it is a 2-second gap. Speedway's not showing. I'm going to have a look to Spoon. Is here. Thought I was going to try and blast the battery to Spoon. That's not the case, but he looks menacingly close to Jelly. As long as he gets a neat few corners, he should have Jelly. Even when I said to the chicane, oh, he's going for it already. Oh, Jelly fought by the defense, but he had to get out of it because there was already Speed Freak there. Nice Speed Freak over to P5 on the run to 130R past the West Course's pit lane, if you can even call it that. Yes, Big Speed Freak's got it now. He's got enough traction out of the final corner. Will Jelly hold up his teammate? That's the question. You know, and he's going to try and resist and defend. But Tom has to sell behind. Every time they'll become detached. He'll have AMS Casper running soon. We now have 6 laps to go. And Misfits is the leader from Fuse Demon. Neither of them have run a race this season, nor is Big D's reserve. Robert Sykes, of course, did win last time out at Singapore with a very impressive win, making the one-stop work medium hard. He made that work well. Speed Freak in 5th, doing decently, you know, in those mediums. If he can just eke a gap off Jelly, which will compromise Tom. But will Tom try and send it into the hairpin? Oh, not from that far back. No way. That would be a great surprise if he managed that. But look at the traction difference as CFC gets another 3 seconds with multiple warnings. Tom Gem going wide. That's got 77 back interested, and that's going to hurt Tom because you can see MS Casper's lurking. He's only 2.5 seconds away from the lead of Alien Class. We've often been talking about Alien Class lead as an overall thing, but tonight it's going to be the also-rans. Oh, as I think now we are going to see Tom Gem surely take his teammate ERC Jelly. A last difference of tyres, same car. And I do think with Jelly, with the lack of fuel that he's got, it would be wise. Just like him, we got a nice 6 for Tom Gem. With a very good drive when you consider all the context of the Alien soft tyre rule. We got yellow. Oh, and it's Amos Godwin again. He's had another moment. As he damaged another front wing. As he tries to keep off track to avoid interfering in that lead battle. I have to say fair play. Yeah, that's the 3rd front wing chipped. And again, it's the left-hand side. And he goes a lap down. Amos God just trying to recalibrate himself in a sense as Amos Axel has made him in CFC AL15, but unbelievable Amos Axel. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this. He's made it up to 12. And only 12. It's just not been a Swedes night, but at least he has made some damage limitation. Amos Casper not taking too many points out of him as it stands. Oh, seriously, I thought I went wide at Dunlop, but he has recovered the car, so no stress there. Makes me still about 2 seconds ahead of Fuse Demon. That Ferrari's looking good for the win. As we now enter lap 24, the last lap of the game can engage the full course yellow. Imagine it going green all the way to this point, and then suddenly we had a green light check as Amos Godwin comes in again. You have to say fair play to him. He is sticking it out. As Beatty has Robert still skulking after him. Speed Freak's doing well. Keep Tom at base still. Slippery Salmon has overtook Jelly. Look, here comes Amos Casper trying to overtake Wood. He does. Can he overtake Slippery Salmon? Not quite. He nudges him. I think Casper's got a lot more grip and speed than Slippery Salmon. But this is where he can build his points lead even more by taking Casper and Slippery Salmon as a penalty. So it's not mission critical. Casper gets ahead. If he wants to take someone like Speed 3 or some GM, he has to start making the moves now. But look at this train that Robert Snipes is starting to lead. Big D, 1.5 back to Robert Snipes. Then 1.2 back to Speed 3. And then Tom GM lurking in the wins. I say things are closing up. And then also we still have the Salmon Casper Jelly train. Back there, the P number 7. As Jelly tries to down that he has done well to hang on to those hards. Very well. I will give him his due. As Fuse tries everything he can to get a misfix, but I think my fellow Yorksman's going to be struggling. And we can officially say we're free to go. The way the game works, it's going to go green from the lights going out to the check flag. Gordon picks up 3 second multiple warnings, but since he's beyond care at this point, I imagine there's a fast lap attempt coming very soon. Oh, and Jelly's retired. Jelly's retired. I imagine that's in the pits, isn't it? Yeah, he's run out of fuel. And that's been very costly. You have to keep fuel. And that's AMS Casper up to 7th now. Can he do anything further? Because it'll be 7th and 11th between him and Axel. And then 15th for Godwin. Casper will try and now make some moves. If there's any to be made. But look at this. Tom GM has caught Speed 3. Who has caught Robo Snipes. That's going to be an interesting fight to watch towards the end. Fusey still keeping Misfits very honest. But just fear that Misfits has got this covered unless something goes wrong. He doesn't want to pay the British Grand Prix of being mugged on the last lap. But this is. Oh, excuse me. This yawning is horrific. I do apologise. As we start to see the DRS train form. Robert Snipes just gets it paid by Big T, but you're going to see DRS on Red Bull and Speed Freak on the Williams or Tom Jen being deployed. Casper about 5 seconds behind, but he too has DRS on the Ghost of Volley champ, so that will be at least something for Casper to worry. But I think he's going to have to sell here for 7th tonight. If without that mistake he made, maybe could have caught Tom. Meanwhile, has took Speed Freak for 5th. Then Godwin now goes up to 14th, and the fast lap having overtook Jelly. With Jelly having had to call it quits. So I think Jelly might be classified because I think he just went deep enough, but I guess we'll find out. And reserves, I don't classify for the championship, but they do keep the results and they do keep their points. Albeit they're not shown, but they get to keep the results. Being reserves is Big D in P3. Trying to keep that field behind him. I imagine he's probably going to score it covered. Okay, and goes, I tell you, Salmon has crashed out. What's happened? Salmon has crashed out the hairpin, and I don't know how he's got his car there, as my controller has decided to disconnect at the most awkward moment. Excuse me, thank you, controller. And that is a gift for Amos Axel in terms of damage limitation. That's going to put him into the top 10. Just can't believe man to say damage limitation. Amos Axel top 10. As he passes where Slippery Salmon's Mercedes was. And there he goes. As we will still watch the Robert Snipes, Big D, Tom JM, and Speed Freak battle. Tom JM all over Robert Snipes now. With no DRS opportunities left, it's going to have to be a good old-fashioned overtake, although there may be a bit of dust of battery to assist. As we see the pink cherry blossom on the trees. Was Tom JM potentially trying to mug just Robert into Degner 1? I don't know. Oh, look, it's very close. Will there be a tag to the hairpin? Don't rule it out. Tom with nothing to lose. No, he wasn't quite close to Robert Snipes. Oh, they're both back at England MotoGP bikes. But look, Tom might have the runner Robert here, but Robert does have the top, Big D. Surely something's going to happen between these three. Still, it's 1.14. Misfits and Fuse Demon just about got it covered as Fuse. Baron 77 will end up being classified in, presumably, it will be 14th. Oh, no, I think he wasn't in the lead last. I think that's AMS got... Oh, yeah, AMS Gordon has overtook him. Will we see anything between these three at the front? I suspect not. Meanwhile, here's Misfits. Who will win the PRF1 Season 35 Japanese Grand Prix? Wow. Back-to-back for Ferrari. Big D will finish third. Robert Snipes P4. Tom JM will win Alien class with P5. Speed Freak P6. AMS Casper down to Mercedes Championship. That's a P7. Right where his class will be definitely half empty and half full. The Real Devil Andrew Pittsmith will finish 9th. And Squad, meanwhile, has finished 13th lap down. Ollie Champ 12th lap down. The debris of someone. AMS Axe, meanwhile, P number 10. Not a great day for the Swede. And he will be looking to pull this quickly behind him. And go again next week. As he crosses the line, it will be CFC L15. That'll be the last one to cross the line. And there we are. That was the Japanese Grand Prix. Debbie Sam says he needs a pint after tonight. That was ducking dreadful. That's not a typo. I think he actually did say that to avoid getting done by any bots. But wow. Wow. Misfits. Finally lace a trophy. It was always bound to happen. The disappointment of losing his home Grand Prix to AMS Apple. It may not necessarily be fully cured by what's happened, but he'll certainly be a happy man tonight. As the champagne gets sprayed between himself, Fuse Demon, and Big D. Big D, top reserve tonight. So fair play to him. As we see all the accolades there, and it will be Misfits who wins the Grand Prix from Fuse Demon, Big D in third, Robert Snipes before Tom Gemma said, the winner of Alien Class in fifth, Speed Freak in P6, Amos Casper P7, Red Demon PF, Andrew P3 P9, Amos Axe, round off the top 10. With CFC L15, last count in the lead lap, Ollie Champ 12, Amos Gordon 13, Super Salmon, he did crash, but he does finish 14th last. Jelly not quite close enough to make it to class of finishes, with also Dallard and Vaxi being other retirements. Technically, no one was unclassified because of an accident that have caused themselves. Anyway, we will see you next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We may not see the Middle East this season in F1 because of what's going on in the world, but we will certainly have it here in Performance Racing Formula 1. I'm Callum Hosty. It's been a pleasure to take you through. I will see you next week. All the best for the weekend, and I'll see you next time. And as for myself personally, I will see you on Tuesday because I'll be streaming my Performance Racing Formula 1 Miami Grand Prix. Bye!